Men, this episode is specifically for you. If you're a real estate investor, entrepreneur, husband, father, this is something that I think everyone needs to hear. I have a few points here, but there are things that are specific to men in business that I don't know that you hear enough. And I see this all the time in the way it plays out in business and meetings. So I put together an episode specifically for you. Now, who am I and why am I talking to you about how to be a man in business? Well, my name is Christian Osgood. If you haven't seen the channel yet, welcome to Multifamily Strategy. Like, follow, subscribe, because it helps us get this out to more people. I have bought multiple businesses, tens of millions of dollars of real estate in the last 3 years, starting with no money, by the way. I have multiple 6 and 7 figure businesses on top of the real estate portfolio. I run a majority of them. I am also a husband and very soon to be father. There are things that I think are common misconceptions about men in business that I'm going to address specifically. Quick disclaimer, women, if you're watching this, you are more than welcome. Thank you for watching the channel. While this may not be targeted to you, your feedback is still very much appreciated, which will play right into point number 1. The number one thing that annoys me in business, working with other males, is when they are dismissive of women in the workplace. I see this happen more than you think. A lot of people are not aware of it. It is not a conscious thing where you're just being an asshole, but I see it all the time in meetings. The people who have a habit of talking over people, it happens 10 times more in women in my meeting. Like, men will just talk over women in the meetings. They don't realize they're doing it. They're not conscious of it. So I'm making you guys aware of it. The women in my business, my wife, who is my business partner and my life partner, my amazing wife, who runs all of our contractors and arguably brings in more money to the company than I do because she actually makes the darn spaces leasable. Sure, I can buy them all day long, but if there's no one in them, we don't have a business. I see struggles where she tries to communicate to other vendors, she tries to communicate with other partners, and people will go, oh, well, she doesn't know what she's doing, or she doesn't have the experience, or I haven't seen her on YouTube. Guys, my wife is really good at what she does, and she's better at the details than I am. It's very valuable. Once she gets the spaces renovated, my head of property management, Corey, female, she gets the spaces actually leased. My wife makes them leasable. Corey comes in and gets them leased. If I don't rely on the expertise of the women in my organization and I don't take the time to listen to them, I don't direct them, I don't micromanage them, I let them run what they're good at and they tell me what they need from me, I don't have the business that I have today. I cannot hold all this real estate. They are so valuable. You need to remember that you treat all of your people like people. If you're not aware of this, just pay attention in a meeting. Just watch meetings and look for the dynamic. I promise you'll see it. Guys, if this is you, it is super fixable. You just need a little bit of consciousness. Do not be dismissive of women in your org. You probably don't notice you're doing it because I'd see it about 95% of the time. Males, we suck at this. Be conscious. Okay, number 2, handling your emotions. There's 2 things that are prevalent online, and I think we need to address both sides. 1, people who are so stoic, men don't push through. There's no such thing as burnout. This is when you are struggling with something, you need to be able to identify it, just period. You need to put it into the right box. There are certain things that actually do just need to be dealt with. Like, you need to struggle through it. You need to find other men to talk to. You need to, like, there are some things you need to process. On the other side, I have had a bunch of men who are like an emotional wreck, and they're like, everything is really important. There is a balance, and we don't talk about balance because it's not clickbaity and it's not sexy to be like, oh, well, men shouldn't feel emotion. Easy. You have all sorts of stuff on social media with stoic men who never cry. And then you have the other side of like, oh, it's so important to get everything out. You get 2 extremes. You get men who are very selfish, who talk about how they feel all the time. And whenever they're personally hurt, they bleed all over everyone else. And it's obnoxious and it will slow down your business. And there's no place for it. You have to have a certain level of stoicism. For you overly stoic alpha males, who I tend to fall more into that category, you need to know what you are feeling to address it at all. You need to take inventory. When stuff is stressful, you don't just push through because you push through. You identify, is this something that I need to handle, or is this something that I actually can just go ahead and push through? If you have balance, all of a sudden, you are easier to work with. You are better rested. You make better decisions. Balance is super important. Stay away from any clickbaity cliches about being a man in business. Just know your emotional state. Be able to identify, these are things that I can't let go of or can't move through quickly. And these are things that are actually like a big deal that I need to address. And then which things are like, I really do not need to make a big deal out of this. We can go ahead and put it in a box and move on. There's a balance. You can do both. Example, I had a partnership go bad where a partner who was egregiously incorrect stole from our LLC and then tried to sue us for money after we made them six figures without any work. In this dispute, this would be something where some people could go through unemotionally. It really weighed on me for a long time. It affected the way that I was doing business. I did have to actually sit down and talk it out and get some sort of resolution and process it with other people, because this was a friend where the friendship went sideways when money got involved. And whoever's right or wrong, it was not fun to a level where it affected me on my sleep. It affected the way that I process things, my dedication to my other businesses. I was distracted with this. That is something that needs to be addressed. So men, understand that you are human. You do have feelings. Some of them need to be addressed. Other things where I'm like, oh my gosh, we've had all these employee issues where I had to fire a bunch of people at one of my projects, Robin Hood Resort. We had to make a lot of career changes for people. That one, there's not a lot of emotion that was appropriate. This is what needs to be done. It's for the good of the business. Is it hard? Yes. Do we need to dwell on it? No. Put it in a box, ship the emotions off. They don't help here. Away we go. Be able to identify that. You're going to be astronomically stronger. Last, men. Specifically, men, I hear this all the time when I'm talking to people about multifamily strategy, joining the mentorship program, general coaching through the mentorship program. Men have a desire 9 out of 10 times when I get called by a man is I am trying to provide for my family. Be a freaking awesome provider. I think you should just lean all the way into that. We are wired to protect, and that is physically, that is financially. Be amazing at doing that. I think that is an identity piece where people, they either do or don't figure it out. If you are not providing at the level that you want to for your family, that's on you. Map a freaking path to get there. I'll give you some tips though. If you're not there today, actually identify what the dollar amount is on a monthly basis that you need to provide for your family. So step one, figure out what do you want life to look like. For me, wife's retired from work. We have a larger house. We've moved to Texas. We can have a kid and start a family. That was the actual goal. Then we worked backwards. What does that cost on a monthly basis? It costs a little less than $15,000 a month to be able to absolutely provide, do the things we want to do, go on a few vacations a year, have the house, raise the kid. That's what we think we need. So I then built a business plan to $15,000 a year. When you actually have quantifiable steps, it moves a lot faster. In 8 years, I built a $2,000 revenue stream, passive income through real estate. The next 3 years, I built almost a $50,000 income in real estate just by moving the pieces around. It took me 11 months though from setting that goal to go from 2,000 a month to 15 a month. When you have clarity, you know where you're going. So men, be a fantastic provider. Those are the 3 things I think we need to hear though. If you are not working correctly with women or not giving women enough room to speak, you are missing out on a lot of value in your business specifically. I'm sure there's a lot of other places that you're missing out. If I don't appreciate my wife for the fact that every time I put stuff on the table and it magically gets cleaned, turns out those are not the cleaning elves. It was not magic. My wife is just fantastic and is helping me in places where I really should just be stronger. Appreciate the women in your organization, in your life. Be respectful to them and just freaking listen. We suck at this in general. So I want everyone to hear that. Number 2, handle your emotions. Do not let them control you. Know what you need to address and know what things just don't need to weigh you down, and freaking get over it. Be tough, but also know when you need to be vulnerable. 3, it is okay to be a provider. That is what I feel most men communicate they're trying to do in business. I want to provide at a higher level. Pursue that, and if you're having difficulty, go back and actually create a roadmap. This does not take a long time, by the way. You can do this in a day. Take out a piece of paper, get to a whiteboard, whatever you have to do, map out what it is that you want to build, and then find what that costs on a monthly basis. Then go out and build your business or scale your career to that level. Hope this helps, men. Women who watched all the way through, first of all, you're crazy and we appreciate you. Thank you for watching all the way through. Let me know if you disagree, agree, or if I missed anything major in the comments. The more you guys comment and react and share this video, the more people watch it. So if you appreciated any of these points or know someone who needs to hear one of these points, give that a share, and we'll see you all on the next episode.